Hi.
Hey. You don't like this place?
What was that?
You don't like this place?
Oh no, I've responded to too many dead people up here in my lifetime. Oh God, where are you going? Dark, you're acting all creepy and shit. What's going on?
What?
Jesus.
What's wrong, man? You. This should be a nice place to chat. Pretty. You think?
Wanted to talk to you. I called you. But yeah, I know you had some life shit going on, so you had to get out of town. I get that. I filled in Ziggy and another fella about a conversation that I was hinting at with you that I had with Max and whoever.
You weren't.
For some reason,
let's get this straight. You didn't hint at nothing. You accidentally told me something, and then you try to pull
I
it
didn't.
back.
I did it on purpose. I literally did it on purpose because I know that's the only way I can get your attention.
Okay,
Speak with me.
It's even worse. All right, carry on.
Well, no, it's not. You're misconstruing. I know I have to say things in a certain way to perk your ears towards what I have to say. Otherwise, things I say are disregarded. I wanted to inform you about exactly what that conversation was. Because it deals with, your people, your family. And I already told Ziggy everything. And I told another fella everything.
Who's this other fella?
I mean, I'm just going to be upfront with you. It's going to be Irish.
Irish McIrish?
ADMC? They wanted to make sure that I wasn't feeding information. Rightfully so. Told them every goddamn detail. I defended the privacy. They were asking about Ziggy Bugs and his affiliation with ADMC. They were asking about Flop. They were asking about you and Matt and Edda. I told them absolutely, literally nothing past what anybody on the street can make an assumption.
Which was?
Well, because they believe that I'm neutral. I am not. I've chosen a side. They were asking me information about members of the ADMC, affiliates, and what the fuck Solomon is doing, what the fuck is Ziggy doing. And I said, well, what's your issue with Solomon and where are you getting Ziggy from? Well, Ziggy and Solomon always hang out together. And I said, well, anybody could assume that, right? I don't really know. I defended Ziggy, saying that he is a good friend, but I only talk to him rarely, if at all. Gave him nothing. During this conversation with Irish, where I was telling him everything, it was brought to my attention that Max was going after Etta for some reason. And I was fuming. Nobody told me anything. Getting in contact with any of your family has been nothing but the most difficult task to do. Just trying to relay information has been nothing but a pain. And based on me standing here right now, I think you can make an assumption of how my conversation with Irish went. The man's thorough. And at this point, I have more respect for that man than I do Ziggy. I'm not going to undermine Ziggy. I still respect him. I can tell that he doesn't want to speak with me. And I can respect that. I just wish somebody didn't have to do the talking for him.
I can't wrap my head around why you thought the best way to tell me about this was to accidentally slip up on the phone about
It wasn't
having
even a
meeting.
slip up. Everybody knew that I had this. I was forced into this meeting. I didn't call the meeting. They wanted to talk to an officer that was on duty, and there's only 4 officers: King, Sky, me, and I think a cadet. They called Sky. Sky said no. They called King. King said no. And then Sky literally called me on the phone and said, the mayor's going to be calling you. You're going to have to go. They want to talk about, I don't know what, something. I didn't even want to.
That doesn't answer my question. You said that the only way apparently you can grab my ear is to, what, tempt me with some kind of information about someone looking into my family? What kind of bullshit is that?
Well, I didn't even know that was the information. Going into it, I didn't know about any of this. And that's why I wanted to talk to anybody.
Right, so why not just come to me and say, hey, Doc, Max.
You said we were going to talk later that day, correct?
Sure.
We did not.
No, but we were talking on the phone. Right?
Yeah. And you said, we'll talk later. I figured, you know what? Okay, got his attention. Because no one believes what I have to say if I don't say it in my silly guy way. No one will give me the light of day. And that is the consensus with everyone. If I'm not this funny little guy who makes silly little mistakes, I'm not being me, right?
When have I ever given you that opinion? Name me one time.
Every time.
So that conversation we had out on the roof.
That was me bringing information forward.
Oh, were you being a funny little guy then?
Do you think I was?
No, I don't. And yet I was taking you pretty seriously, wasn't I?
Up until the moment where I'm speaking with someone alone, I have to put on this mask of a little jokey guy. It's more or less to protect myself, I guess. But that's in... You know, I can't apply. I will apologize, thinking that was the right route. Maybe it wasn't. Surely wasn't. So I apologize.
Why? Okay, fine. So even if that's the case, you give me a little bit of information and you say, "Oh, I had a meeting with the mayor," and you say, "Oh, I shouldn't have said that." Fine. Because you want to meet with me face to face so you can tell me that information. Fine. But then when
100% wanted to talk to you.
so then I ask you further information about that, and then you lie about it and say, "Oh no, you just don't tell me any information over the phone." Why?
I don't talk over the phone anymore about stuff like that.
I think
I'm
you're
privy to what's
bullshitting.
going on down. I'm not bullshitting. What do I have to gain from bullshitting? I'm already cutting ties with the family. You're just the last person I need to talk with.
Why are you doing that?
I'm done wasting my time.
Wasting your time.
Yes, sir. But I respect each and every one of you like a loved one. Don't get that twisted. It's better for me. Because for some reason, I'm in the middle of everybody trying to figure out something. And I have no idea why. People refuse to tell me things that are going on. Why? When was someone going to tell me that Etta was being attacked? Probably never. That really fucking pissed me off, I'll be honest. She's been nothing but the mother I never had to me, and now she hasn't spoken to me in quite some time.
I think you need to gain a bit of perspective here.
Please.
Since Eto has been on that council, Max and his wife Siobhan have been coming after her. They've been at her throat for months. Been 3-4 months now. They have sent people after her. They have had people stalking her. And so when you, regardless of whatever you say your intentions were here, from my perspective, you let slip by accident that you've had a secret meeting with the mayor and his wife, and they've been asking you questions, and you won't reveal the nature of what those questions were, and that it's later revealed with your talk with Ziggy that those questions were about my family and were about Ziggy and Flomp and me, and you didn't care to tell me that information when I asked you directly. How am I gonna trust you after that?
I can understand that. I can. I was just looking to tell you in face to face. Tell you everything, the whole story, the whole bit. And I'm not going to answer those questions on the phone. I don't know who's in the area. Especially when I'm talking about, the mayor.
Sure. Then you say, hey, Doc, we need to talk and have a conversation about the mayor. Done. It's easy. You don't
Trusts me for some reason, and I hate it.
I trusted you up until that conversation we had on the phone. That's the honest truth.
I mean, I can see where you're going to react to protect. Rightfully so. But I don't know if I can protect y'all any longer. I can't keep throwing myself under the bus.
How have you done that?
Consistently lying to Max and Siobhan and telling the truth to a fucking vice president of an MC. Literally playing stupid and dumb with the mayor and giving him some dumbass cop answers that he believed. I feel I like I'm being pulled in a lot of ways. Up until this point, I have continued and will continue to say absolutely nothing. He said, "What's my relationship with Flop?" I said, "He's my colleague and nothing more." "What's my relationship with you?" "You're my colleague and nothing more." Said that about everybody but Ziggy. Because obviously, people know that Ziggy and me are friends. Nothing wrong with that. That's all I told him. And he said, "What about this adoption thing I heard about?" And I said, "Oh, that was just like a joke that got out of hand. So we just kind of rolled with it." Snakes in the grass. That's what those two are. Max and Siobhan.
You had any contact with them since that meeting?
No. I think I ran into them in the lobby or something like that. Just said hello. That's it. I legitimately have nothing to hide from you all. Because the perspective I'm getting is understanding from all of y'all's end. And at this time, basically, it makes a lot of sense for me to step completely away from each and every one of you.
I'm not going to tell you what to do, Santino, but the reality is, and I think it's because of what I've mainly, I don't know, I can't talk for the rest of them. At least for me, if you'd just been straight up with me on that phone call, things would be really different. And sure, I can understand your reasonings in a roundabout way, for not wanting to talk on the phone and things like that. But if you'd just been up and honest with me about that meeting and answered the questions I have for you on the phone, I think we'd be having a very different conversation. And I can understand if you want to go your own way, but if you don't, I think you got a lot of work to do. If you want you got to earn people's trust back.
I think people need to earn my trust back as well. And I agree. I'm not gonna continue. I can promise you this on my life. My mother's grave. I will continue not to say a damn thing. I don't care. I'm not about to assist in whatever dog shit he has planned. I'm not gonna help you guys fight your battles. Because up until this point, you're the first person I've talked to in about a week. I feel like if you guys wanted my assistance in some way, there would have been some sort of conversation or call to action or informing me of just anything. And that it's not the case. So I get it. But tried to reach out to Ziggy for a few days now. No luck. So
Like I said, I can't speak for everybody else. So Max and Siobhan, they haven't offered you nothing?
no. 0. And Irish pressed me on that topic as well. He said, "How is Forte Records going?" And I said, "Why don't you ask Tally?" Because she's literally all of it. She's been nothing but a support. She might be a fucking goofball, but she knows how to do some business. And I appreciate that. They've offered me 0. Nothing. And I can promise you if they didn't, I wouldn't accept it. Self-sufficient. At least try to be. I don't owe anybody. I don't owe anybody anything.
Okay.
I just wanted to get some shit clear because I know it's been muddy. And I know you probably have your head screwed on the tightest. In a good way.
Yeah, well, I wish I could say the same for you.
Would you like to elaborate?
Well, I mean, at the end of the phone call, you literally said, I said, why did you tell me about this if you ain't going to elaborate? You said, yeah, I like to tell you things because I know that it gets under your skin. Remember that? You started laughing.
Yeah, I was just fucking with you. Just trying to be fun. I like to try to make mood shift.
What did it turn out you were laughing about? Some psychopath terrorist digging into my family.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give a shit about your family at this point. I give a shit about you. I like you a lot. Just want to make sure we're clear. Your family has done nothing but disrespected me. When I'm out here fighting in the trenches, trying to cover up anything I can cover up, trying to mislead them, trying to give them nothing. And I've successfully done it. What do I get? Silence. I'm not asking for respect because I know I'm not going to get it. I've been out here trying to figure out whatever the fuck is going on. Trying to fix whatever the fuck I can fucking fix. And it seems like your family has been doing nothing but saying the worst shit about me. And it's just disappointing. It's a psychopath. No. Just a jokester. Can lock it down like I am right now. Comedy is my medicine. Sometimes it's not that funny. So, I apologize.
I appreciate that. But I think at the end of the day, I am my family. So I think if you can't care about them, you can't care about me.
Do they care about me? Honest.
I don't know.
I think the answer is no.
I think he does.
I could die right now. You could stab me right now. If this went completely sideways, they wouldn't give a shit.
Is that what you want?
You to stab me? No.
You better give a shit.
About what?
You.
I give a shit about myself. I just know damn well y'all don't about me. At the end of the day. That's okay. It really is. But I just want you to know, I've already told Ziggy, I've already told Irish, who was speaking for Ziggy. That's all I've talking to. Is that I will continue the way I've been talking, if ever asked. But that's it. I will continue to do what I've been doing, which was protecting you all. The most professional way I can.
I don't even need you to do that. I just want your word that you're not going to work with Max and Siobhan.
Yeah, and you have that. You've always had that. I'm the middleman, it seems. They talk to me. That one time, they haven't asked me anything or called me or anything from that point. It's been made me aware that there's cameras, Lido, and all that. That pissed me off. The whole Etta thing fumed me. She's nothing but sweet. At least to me. I don't see how that could change with anybody. But there's not much I can do if I'm not informed. Communicated with. Therefore, that's why I'm doing what I need to do. Completely just disassociate from you all. I'm not part of the family. No way, shape, or form. So I get why I'm not being informed.
Are you angry about that?
No. Why would I care? It was never going to happen anyway. I knew that from day one.
Why is that?
Ziggy has filled me with nothing but promises and only come up in disappointment. So I don't expect anything at this time. Or ever have. I was there for him when he needed a shoulder to cry on. But other than that,
What
okay,
promises? What do you mean? Explain that to me.
and I quote, I want the family to accept you because I love you. Is what he said. That's why he started bringing me around, inviting me to things. Lo and behold, that stopped happening rather quickly. He said, tomorrow we're going to get those adoption papers all settled in. I said, we can do that legally. That was a while ago. Tomorrow came, nothing. Next day came, nothing. Well, there goes that. I'll call you back. No call. Ranges. He's a busy man. Got other things on his plate. Just a bit disappointing. That connection is lost. He's a great man. Means well. But he's got a lot of shit going on.
But he does these days.
But why should I try to interject with all that shit? You know? I'm not a priority. I understand that.
Forte, mate. I think you got to realise that's life.
Oh, it is.
This is it. I think you spent too much time worrying about whether or not Ziggy wants you or doesn't want you, whether or not you're a burden or not a burden. Less time just living in it. And I'm not saying that Ziggy's not at fault here, because it sounds like he is. Because it sounds very similar to situations that my family's been in. With Matt. Matt's been an absent dad. I've been an absent. That shit happens. Doesn't mean you can't grow through it. Doesn't mean you gotta give up. I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you what to do.
I understand what you're saying. There's a chance, right? Is what you're saying. But effort needs to be put in both ways. The car will never start. It's a two-way street. If you want someone around, bring him around. You know?
Yeah.
Priorities are with his, yeah, I really don't know that. I'm not going to assume. But he has other priorities, obviously. His family's number one. And he's a family man, and I get that. I don't see that side of him. I hope he's true to his word on it.
And I hope you stay true to yours.
At the end of the day, it's all I got. I could bullshit all day long, but when I actually lock it in, talk, that is my word.
Well, next time if they come digging around, can you just let me know straight up?
We're gonna. Just a matter of time. And yes, I'll be vague enough that you understand.
Well, thanks for the chat, Cindy.
I appreciate you speaking with me.
Alright, well, guess this is it. Now?
Still around.
Yeah.
You got shit going on.
Yeah. You,
I get that.
take it easy, okay? Actually, I'll be back in 2 secs.
Okay. Is everything okay? Hi.
Wait,
Everything all right?
yeah, everything's fine. I spoke to Forte. Are you moving?
Um, can be, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, Dark. I've been sitting atop a hill, making sure everything is okay.
Where are you?
The nearest hill to where you two were talking, just at the crest of it. Anyway, sorry, I just was making sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, getting your car, start driving. But
I'm driving.
okay, when that text message between Siobhan and Forte, when was that?
It was, I believe, today would be 12 days from when it was sent.
And when was that conversation that they had, that meeting?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how long ago that was. If it feels like it was 3 or so weeks ago, but maybe I could be wrong about that. I would need to I don't know, cross-reference things, I guess.
Hold on, let me check something.
Sure.
I think it was a month ago.
Oh, hey.
Because
Oh, was it a month ago?
Because that's when the eclipse was, wasn't it?
Oh my God, you're right. Wait, you're right.
And it
Okay.
it wasn't too long after that, right?
Yeah. It was shortly after that.
So, I guess that means I asked him, "Have you had any further contact with Siobhan or Max since that meeting?" And he said no.
Okay. Oh, that sucks. Okay.
So that was a lie.
Yeah.
Unless it was something to do with PD and he doesn't consider that contact, which is a possibility. Like if he was involved in a scene and he had to call her up, that is a possibility.
Yeah.
But other than that,
Yeah.
I don't really believe him, based on what he said to me about the whole phone call with me thing. He basically said that the reason he told me, he basically said that he slipped up, in air quotes, you can't see my air quotes, but he slipped up about telling me about their meeting on purpose to try and, because he said that's the only way to get my attention, so that he can tell me something important, which I think is a load of bollocks. And I've never given him any indication of not taking him seriously before.
Yeah. I mean,
And then,
why purposefully slip up? Why not just be open and upfront? Like that's
right. and then I even called him out at the end, and then like how he was playing off it at the end, because obviously at the time I didn't know why he was like, because he didn't tell me what it was about. Obviously afterwards, after you had his conversation with Sean and you, that it was about, you know, Max and Siobhan digging into my family. But at the end of that conversation with me on the phone, after not telling me what it was about, he was openly laughing at me on the phone because I was like, "What? Why aren't you telling me what this is?" And he was like, "Haha, I know things and you don't." And when you think about it in perspective like that, like someone's like a terrorist is literally digging around in my family's business, and he's not telling me that, and he's laughing at me. Like, but I don't know. He was. I don't believe him at all. I'll be honest. But at the same, but he's coming at this from an angle of he's cutting ties with the family essentially, and I was the last person he needed to talk to. But he's still gonna. Essentially, he's taking the moral high ground, and he's saying, "I'm going to continue to defend the family and do this." There's part of me that does feel bad for him on some level, because, you know, could this have been handled better by us? Maybe, but
Yeah.
at the same time, we've had, you know, at the time we had people stalking us, and we've been had people coming after us and all this kind of shit, and you know that wasn't at the top of our priority list, right? Is when someone's just like I said to him, why not just say, hey, like if you wanted to talk to me, just say, hey, I had a meeting, I was forced into a meeting with the mayor and his wife, and they were digging around about your family. Can we meet up?
Right.
This whole thing would have been, it never would have happened.
Exactly.
So that's why my sympathy levels are at an all-time low, because it's like it's all like he's brought this on to himself.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, was that really what happened? Like, did you really do that on purpose, or was it an accident? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he basically said to me that he doesn't care about the rest of the family anymore. He only cares about me. But I said, listen, I am the rest of the family. So if you can't care about the rest of the family, you can't care about me anymore. So I think it's pretty much parted ways at this point. So what's going to happen next? He gave me his word. He's not going to work with those guys. But, you know, if that text message is anything to go by, I don't know. I wouldn't trust him with anything. I just think we keep dealing with him the same way we've been dealing with him. But
okay.
I'll be honest, but speaking to him, I think he might have been, if we were looking for motivation as to why he might have been working with Max and Siobhan, I think he might have been really bitter about not being involved with the family.
Yeah.
And I think that might have been an angle.
Potentially.
I don't know.
Okay. Fuck. All right. Well, I mean, you know, it sucks, but I get it. I understand. Okay. Interesting though. That's. I want to see when he most recently sent me a text. I can't right now. So.
He said he's been trying to get in contact with you over the past few days. I don't know.
Yes. To be honest, I've had a lot be going on over the past few days, and I'm still on the fence on whether or not I could trust the guy anyway. So I haven't, you know, would I have talked to him at some point? Yeah, but also it definitely wasn't on like, you know, my list of things to be doing. I have, you know, I got taking care of people. So
Right.
and not being able to trust him was just I couldn't do it. I don't know.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, filled in.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you keeping me updated with it. That's that's tough. All
Any
right.
news?
Nothing yet. I'm in the middle of chatting with someone at the moment. So if I could call you back, maybe we can link up and I don't know, discuss more of this stuff.
Sure, it's fine.
Okay.
Give me a bell.
How long are you gonna be around for?
No idea.
Okay, fair enough.
All right.
All right, I'll give you a ring.
I'll catch you in a bit. Catch up. Interesting. Interesting convo indeed, bruv. Yeah, I don't think Dark believes Forte, but he didn't want to say that outright to Forte because of the reason he doesn't believe him is because of that text message, which Dark doesn't really feel great about knowing anyway, and definitely isn't gonna like say that he knows. You know what I mean? Dark Road's crime family arc. Yeah. He doesn't believe him since the phone calls. Okay, so he doesn't trust Forte since the phone call he had where Forte slipped up about having a meeting with Max and Siobhan. Because he was just lying on the phone call, right? He wasn't telling Dark anything. And then especially when Ziggy then found out that the phone call was about Max and Siobhan digging around into his family, definitely doesn't trust him, right? But then he's gonna have that conversation with Forte, has asked him, since that meeting you had that we talked about, have you had any contact with Max or Siobhan? And he said no. But because of an incident where ADMC stole Siobhan's phone, Ziggy found out that Siobhan and Forte had contact like 11 days ago or something, at least via text message, possibly by phone call, which means that Forte might have just lied to Dark in that conversation, possibly, which means that the trust is definitely just but again, Dark was like playing devil's advocate to himself. It could have been a PD thing, you know. Will Dark still trust him moving forward? No. Dark doesn't trust Forte. He'll work with him, like, on a... I think, if anything, Dark thinks, like, after that conversation, I think Dark's character read on Forte is... This is a kid who is very broken, and it's very sad. Like, Dark has a lot of sympathy for Forte. He likes him a lot. Like, obviously Dark wanted him to be involved in the family, you know what I mean? So it's like Dark wanted that a lot. And I think Forte needs to be involved in, like, he needs a family, and I think he craves that a lot. And I think he craves that so much that because Ziggy and Flop promised it and he didn't get it in a time frame that Forte thought was reasonable, he became bitter. And so when he saw an opportunity to, in essence, turn against the family, he did. And that's Dark's read on the situation. And now he's, I think, covering. I don't know. Maybe that's a bit too much. But that's you got to remember at the same time, Dark is paranoid right now. Dark is paranoid. Dark is looking out for those in the inner circle, right? Dark is looking out for his family. That's the reason that they went cold shoulder on Forte, was because anybody who's like close to them, who is giving them a reason to not trust them, like, they can't take the risk of keeping on trusting them anymore. Like, if someone's like flimsy, like Forte was, like, they ain't got the, what's the word? They ain't got the wiggle room right now to be able to be like, oh, you know what? Let's give him a chance and see if we can trust him. Like, after that conversation, on the phone. So they're still targeting the family. Well, this is the issue. The issue is because Ziggy's in ADMC, it's become a family issue. Originally, it was just Etta, but because Ziggy's ADMC, it's become a family thing. So it's no longer just an Etta thing. It's now a Etta. What the hell is that? That car's still there. We don't know if I don't know if they're still targeting that now that Etta's not the treasurer anymore. But it's certainly a possibility.